Hey guys, it's Iceberg and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanna tell you about a brand new fully BA release, the ZiiGaat Luna. The main feature of this model is that it's equipped with 6 custom balance armatures from Sonion and Knowles, priced at $379. These are the first full BA IEMs from ZiiGaat, and let's find out if the Luna is hype or a fluke. As always, I would like to thank the Linsol store for the Luna and continued support. All the purchase link are below the video. Okay, let's go. The Luna comes in a branded box with the usual ZiiGaat design. The front part shows the shells themselves, the model name and driver configuration. On the side we can see a brief specification, and on the back we can see information about the manufacturer. Inside the box we will find a rich set and a couple of surprises. Well, the first of course is the shells themselves, the modular cable, 2 variants of plugs, 3.5 and 4.4 balanced, 3 sets of ear tips, a spacious branded case, and the simple papers, a manual and a warranty. Well, let's talk about the cable, because it has gotten significant improvement over previous ones from ZiiGaat. Okay guys, there is no problem with the technical part here. The wire itself is made of several plated OFC and is covered with the hard sheets to protect it from damage. But man, it feels light, flexible and doesn't tangle at all. All the hardware here is made of metal, including the case of 2 pin plugs. The modular connection is pretty easy, and for your convenience, there are arrows that should touch each other for correct connection. Personally, this cable is a pleasant surprise for me, and I really appreciate ZiiGaat's efforts to improve their cable. There are also a few improvements in terms of included ear tips. Well, with the Luna we get 3 sets of ear tips. The first set is my favorite, transparent ear tips with a spin-fit shape. The next are the semi-transparent grey ear tips with slightly stiffer silicone, which can cause some discomfort but significantly improves isolation. And the last set is the regular foam ear tips for bass fans with excellent sound isolation. Honestly, I'm always skeptical about the included ear tips, but the transparent ones surprise me. They are made of soft and sticky silicone, which fits nicely in my ears and feels very organic inside, but at the same time doesn't change the original Luna sound presentation in any way, so I will use them in this review. Guys, surprisingly Luna is made of opaque resin using 3D printing, and that's a bit weird, because I would like to see custom armatures and how they installed inside. Although I have no complaints about the build quality. All the parts are made neatly and connected securely, and the case itself feels solid and monolithic. I really like the simple but attractive faceplate design of ZiiGaat shells, and this model is no exception. The whole secret to their design is that it's handmade, and as a result you get a unique pattern that won't be repeated anywhere else. Personally, I do love these pastel understated colors, and the delicate ZiiGaat logo adds a subtle premium feel to this set. By the way, leave a comment if you like this pattern. I'm really interested in what you guys think of their design. On the inner side we can see a metal nozzle. It's quite long and wide, and inside it has a metal mesh and edges to hold the ear tips in place. Looking ahead, the length of the nozzle plays a key role of creating a solid soundproofing of this set. So there is also the model name, serial number and site identification. On the top there is a large vent covered with the mesh, and on the side there is a 2-pin connector in line with the shell. In general, everything in the case is designed meticulously and with maximum focus on sound. Their shape is very similar to the shape of the rest ZiiGaat's lineup, such as Lush or Odyssey. And for those who have tested them, this shape won't come as a surprise. So Luna has medium-sized shells with an ergonomic shape that follows the shape of the ear. There are no annoying corners or hollows inside the shell, making them more versatility for the most users. Personally, they provide a deep and snug fit, but protrude significantly for my small ears. This was the only thing that bothered me while listening, but otherwise they remain comfortable and, by the way, very light in my small ears, that I hardly felt them at all. So guys, I can recommend these IEMs for all ear sizes and even for small ears if you don't mind the slight protrusion from them. In terms of isolation, this set performs very well, and even in a loud room, on a street or in a traffic, ambient sound becomes barely perceptible at the background noise level. A really solid isolation. Okay, the sources. Guys, this set is pretty easy to drive, and they will play on a cheap smartphone or directly to a computer, but such usage can play a bad trick on you. The sensitivity is claimed low, and the impedance is quite high, which requires a lot of power from the source. So I recommend you to use at least a portable deck, or better a desktop deck, to achieve the best sound. I, in turn, to get all the juice from these babies, will be using a desktop deck for C-Audio K7. Okay guys, before we get to the most interesting part, how they sound, I would like to look at their graph to understand their tuning. Well, this curve is the signature ZiiGaat tuning, where the start of the graph shows a rise of 8 dB in the sub-bass region, and then a slow drop to the mid-bass and low mid-range. This suggests a rather deep and voluminous bass, somewhat dominant over the mid-range. The mid-range, on the other hand, stays flat and smooth between 250 and 1 kHz to keep vocals and instruments natural, while 1 kHz is followed by a rise with a peak around 3 kHz, making vocals brighter and more audible and instruments lively and energetic. In the presence region there is a noticeable peak around 6 kHz, which is responsible for the vocal clarity and brightness area, making the vocals more lively and articulated. In the brilliance region we can see a peak around 8 kHz, which adds more detail to the treble, making sound and aftertones more elaborate, but at the same time it can add unwanted sibilants, which I'll tell you about later on. In the ultra upper range we see a dip at precisely 10 kHz, which muffs all ring sounds and removes sharpness, harshness, and can remove sibilants. After this dip, several small peaks follow, finishing the frequency graph in the balanced way. Overall, it's a pretty neat and restrained V-shaped tuning aimed at the music professionals, such as directors or vocalists, who need precision and clarity in every note, as well as audiophiles who want technical, quick sound delivery with accurate vocal instrument reproduction, but without unnecessary coloration in the style of balanced armature. Moving on to subjective impressions, I wanna say that their tuning surprised me with their clean, transparent presentation along with a very mature and smooth sound. I have to admit I was very skeptical and set a high bar for them, because I had my doubts that ZiiGaat could do a full BA set and tune it properly, but eventually they managed to do it. Yes, there is no wow effect here, and they are not designed to rock. It's more a professional device for working with music, for example mixing, editing, and more. They offer an aesthetic delivery with a natural tonality that was intended by the vocalist. In this aspect they remind me of the ZiiGaat Lush, but with a BA interpretation. The two Sonion armatures responsible for the low region create a foundation that feels physical, yet remains incredibly controlled and disciplined. While balanced armature drivers, as opposite to dynamic ones, are known for their speed and precision, and the Luna take full advantage of these. The bass doesn't just boom, it simply reveals the smallest nuances. For example, in the track Massive Attack Angel, the bass line that accompanied the opening beat sound like a humming pulse, where each drum beat is felt clearly with distinct transition. You hear not only the main tone, but also subtle vibration that add depth and realism. ZiiGaat clearly tuned the Luna for studio work, where the bass needs to be precise, textured, and not overwhelm other frequencies. These are not IEMs for bass heads craving for powerful buzzing bass. Instead, the Luna offers a refined, accurate bass that fits perfectly into a neutral sound signature. The sub-bass in the Luna is rather the most controversial part of their low region. If you like deep, physical perceptible sub-bass like in hybrid or dynamic models, you may find the Luna sub-bass as somewhat restrained. Despite the boost, the sub-bass here is a vibration layer that fills but doesn't fill the entire space. This is perfect for professional work, where it's important to heal the balance instead of driving in the rumble. The mid-bass in the ZiiGaat Luna can be described as tight, clear, and analytical. It's not the kind of bass that hits you in the ear. Instead, the Luna offers you a precise, fast mid-bass that focuses on detail and texture. There is enough punch here to rock bass guitars or drums with moderate depth, but those sounds remain highly controlled and elaborate. However, for those looking for drive and emotional intensity, the Luna's bass may seem too quiet. It won't rock you in a truest sense of the word, but it will give you a crystal clarity and texture that make you fall in love with your favorite tracks over and over again. This makes them ideal for vocal genres like jazz, classical, or rock, but in genres where sub-bass take the lead, such as hip-hop or dubstep, the Luna might feel a bit too stiff. It won't give you that wow effect that you expect from powerful lows. But for me, this is not a disadvantage, but a feature because Luna is designed for precision but not rocking. The Luna's mid-range is without exception its strongest point. ZiiGaat has positioned Luna as IEMs for professionals, like sound designers, vocalists, or musicians. The mid-range here is tuned to bring out every nuance of vocals and instruments with absolute precision. It's not just mid-range, it's a real stage, where voice and instruments become alive as if you are sitting in the front row of a concert hall or in the studio next to the singer. The two custom balanced armature from Knowles provide the mid-range with a transparency, texture, and naturalness rarely found in the IEM in dispersed range. The Luna's mid-range is like looking through a perfectly clean glass. You see, or rather hear every detail without embellishment. Vocals, whether male or female, sounds with a remarkable naturalness and warmth, but without that excessive coloration that is often found in more musical or V-shaped IEMs. Let's take Don't Know Why by Norah Jones for example. Her crisp, slightly husky voice in Luna sounds like she's sitting right in your room. You hear every breath, every intonation, every slight transition from note to note. The vocals are so textural that you can catch every subtle vibration of the vocal cords. This creates a sense of intimacy, like the performance is sharing something personal with you, a fascinating experience. The male vocals are equally impressive. In Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana, Kurt Cobain's voice is delivered with heartbreak and emotional depth. The IEMs conveyed his rough energy and vulnerability without adding unnecessary warmth or smoothing. You can hear his voice shaking on the high notes and the pain in the highs, and it's really chilling. Instruments in the mid-range are also revealed with incredible detail. On Let Her Go by Passenger, the acoustic guitar sounds like you can feel the guitarist's fingers on the strings. Every chords, every light touch of the plectrum is delivered with the clarity, and the face of the strings add the feeling of a live performance. The piano sounds delicate and melodic, with soft attacks and smooth transition that emphasize the airiness of the composition. In the upper mids we see a slight rise, which adds to the Luna airiness and openness. It's not brightness in a bad sense. There are no harsh peaks or sibilants to fatigue the ears. Instead, the upper mid slightly highlight the vocals and instruments, making them more expressive. The notes in this region come alive, the technical side delivery disappears, and images, articulation as well as emotion, energetic delivery appear. In Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, the upper mid-range reveals all the magic of the vocals of Freddie Mercury. Every vocal part from solo to chorus sound with distinct, precise positioning. You can hear each vocalist standing on the stage and even feel they moving in a space. Brian-made guitars sound lush, with clear attacks and soft phase without overpowering the vocals, and the piano is melodic and diverse, emphasizing the fantastic vocals. A pair of no less balanced armature tweeters provide the treble with clarity, definition, and refinement. It's not blinding highs as some bright IEMs or muted as in warmer models. Luna finds the middle ground. The treble is expressive enough to add openness, yet smooth enough that you can listen to music for hours without fatigue, which is especially important for professionals. The treble in the Luna is about detail and texture. They sound crystal clear, with an emphasis on the tiny nuances that are often lost in other models. It's like looking at a painting in a high resolution. Every stroke and shadow becomes visible, creating a sense of depth and realism. In the brilliance region, the frequencies in the Luna have slightly raised, giving them a glowing and open character. This is not an ear-pounding brightness of the some budget V-tuned IEMs. Instead, the Luna offers a refined expressiveness that adds space and airiness to the sound. In the track Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley, the high guitar overtones and light vocal vibes creates a sense of fragility and vulnerability. The treble emphasizes an emotional depth of the track, adding airiness but not distract from the vocals of mid-range. It's like a subtle accent that makes the melody even more touching. The soundstage here is like a starry sky on a clear night. Yes, not infinite, but surprisingly spacious and deep for balanced armature IEMs. The Luna creates a three-dimensional space that allows instrument and vocals to breathe without squeezing them into a tight box. It's not a grand area like some hybrid or dynamic IEMs, but for BA IEMs, the Luna stage is impressively wide, deep, and clearly positioned. Separation is perhaps one of the most impressive features of this set. The 6 BA drivers work in perfect synergy to provide a clear separation of every element in the track. No matter if you're listening to a fast or slow track, the ZiiGaat Luna will separate them into distinct layers, allowing you to enjoy each sound individually. You can easily follow each vocal layer or instrument sound without losing any detail. This makes Luna the perfect choice for sound designers who need to hear each piece of the track separately. The imaging in the ZiiGaat Luna is like a large concert hall, where every instrument and voice has a clear place in the space. Luna creates a holographic image where you can pinpoint where a particular sound is located with eyes closed. This is especially impactful in genres where precise positioning is the key. For shooter games, Luna imaging is also impressive. Thanks to the accurate positioning, you can easily identify where footsteps or gunshots are coming from, left, right, or behind you. And even in intense moments, Luna perfectly separates sound into layers, allowing you to position each sound with absolute precision. Okay guys, let's do a quick comparison of the Luna with the hybrid IEMs Kiwi vs Astral. The Luna's bass is tight, clear, and incredibly controlled. It doesn't hit your ears, but rather creates a solid foundation where every note is like the precise beat of a metronome. Bass is fast, textured, with excellent articulation, but without a rumbling boost. Sub-bass is present, but it is subtle, almost intelligent, adding depth but not filling the whole space. Astral's bass is a different story. It's deep, meaty, and tangible, thanks to the dynamic driver. The lows here are the most massive, with a rich sub-bass that gives a physical perceptible vibration. It's a bass that pumps, adds drive and energy, but can sometimes slightly overpower the other frequencies if you don't like a fat delivery. It's less analytical than the Luna, but gives you more emotion. Luna's mid-range is like a crystal clear mirror that reveals every detail. The vocals and instruments sound transparent, natural, and incredibly detailed. Male and female vocals come to life as if the performer is standing in front of you, sharing their emotions. Guitars, pianos, and strings are rendered with such texture that you feel every touch of the string. The upper mids are lightly highlighted, which adds airiness, but can sometimes a bit bright in aggressive tracks. Astrals, on the other hand, approach the mid-range with a heart. They are warm, mellow, and musical, with emphasis on emotion. Vocals sound a little closer and more intimate, with a soft, enveloping character that is perfect for pop and rock. Instruments such as guitar or keyboards have a nice fullness, but can seem a little less detailed than Luna, due to the warmth and influence of the bass. Luna's treble is bright, sparkling, and airy. They add sparkle and specialness to the sound, emphasizing every nuance of cymbals, hi-hats, or strings. The treble is crisp, with excellent texture, yet smooth with not harsh peaks or fatiguing sibilants. They are lightly highlighted, making the stage more open, but remains comfortable even for hours of listening. The Astral's treble is warm, smooth, and musical. They are not as sparkling as Luna, but they are more gentle and cozy. Cymbals and sieves sound clear, but with a slightly smoothness, making them ideal for long listening without fatigue. However, they can seem a little less detailed, especially in the complex arrangements where absolute precision is needed. In summary, if you're an audiophile, sound engineer, or gamer who wants a spacious and accurate soundstage, Luna is your bold choice. But if you're an audiophile who wants to bob your head and feel the music with your whole body, Astral is your ticket in the world of bobbing. Okay guys, one more comparison I'd like to make with the hybrid ZiiGaat Odyssey. The Luna's bass is precise, tight, and controlled. It doesn't hit your ears with a huge wave, but creates a clear texture bass that fits perfectly into the track. The sub-bass feels light but powerful, adding deep but not too clogging up other frequencies. The mid-bass is fast, with excellent articulation, like every note is carved in the stone. This is bass for those who appreciate studio precision and want to hear every detail. The Odyssey bass, on other hand, is deep, punchy, and tangleable, thanks to its dynamic driver. The lows here are warmer and more spacious, with emphasis on sub-bass that gives you a physical, palpable rumble like you're standing near to the stage. The mid-bass adds punch, but can sometimes seem a little less controlled than the Lunas, slightly rolling up into the lower mids. This is bass that rocks and energizes. The Luna mid-range is transparent, neutral, and incredibly detailed. Vocals sound like the singer is whispering in your ear. Every breath, every emotional in its place. Instruments, whether guitars or pianos, are rendered with fantastic accuracy, without the slightest coloration. The upper mids are a little more emphasized, which adds airiness and openness, but remain comfortable without being fatiguing even with long listening sessions. This is the middle for those who want to hear the music like it was meant to be heard. Odyssey mid-range is natural, slightly warm, and musical. The vocals sound close and soulful, with a nice texture that adds to the emotion. The guitars and piano have a soft, enveloping presentation, but still retain clarity. Compared to the Luna, the Odyssey mids are slightly less analytical, but more alive, with a slightly emphasis on lower mids, which gives the sound fullness and coziness. In summary, if you're a professional musician, producer, sound engineer, or appreciate technical, uncolored presentation with natural tonality, then Luna is your choice. And if you're a music lover, audiophile who is looking for a more fun, warm, pleasant sound, then definitely pick Odyssey. By the way, Odyssey and Astral for me are very similar in sound presentation, but Astral is a little more detailed. Okay guys, in summary, ZiiGaat Luna is audiophile masterpiece that lives up to its name, because Luna means moon in Russian. That's why they're like moonlight, glowing, sophisticated and mesmerizing, revealing music with crystal clarity and precision. Their neutral sound signature, white stage and holographic imaging make them the perfect choice for professionals, gamers and audiophiles who wants to hear every nuances. These aren't IEMs for those looking for loud bass or a flashy wow effect, but if you value studio precision and immersion, the Luna are your ticket to a world of crystal clear sound. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. What do you guys think about the ZiiGaat Luna? Share your impression in the comment below. Like and subscribe, because there are more audiophile adventures ahead. And I'll catch you in the next video. Take care and bye bye!